after the Old English language was brought and managed to establish itself in the land of England, a conquest in 1066 by the Duke of Normandy, William the Conqueror, affected the use of English language for 300 years by his mother tongue, French. The feudalism or the class system that was introduced by the conqueror also distinguished the language usage between the aristocratic society who used French and the lower class English peasant. So for 300 years, English was isolated from its own land, and this presentation will explain on how the language emerged from the shadow. Assalamualaikum madam and my fellow friends. My name is Siti Nuratira binti Salmi. So for the first part, I will share with everyone on how French language reached and influenced the land in 10th century until 12th century. So let's start with the first point, the conquest of William the Conqueror and the Battle of Hastings. The Conquest, 1066. William the Conqueror was the Duke of Normandy. He claimed the English throne after his distant cousin, Edward, the childless English king, died in 1066. The claim was due to Edward promising William the throne during William's visit to France in 1051. On Edward's deathbed, however, he granted the kingdom to Harold Godwinson, the head of the leading noble family in England, making Harold as King Harold II instead of William. To that, the solution to the proclamation of the throne led both William and Harold into the Battle of Hastings. As Harold was defeated in the battle, William invaded England to become king and claimed the throne from Harold. Since then, English was established with the new king's mother tongue, Anglo-Norman, which is French, replacing the Old English, and in his reign, French became the language of the royalties. To add to this first part, due to the mounted knight from the Battle of Hastings, origins words of French, chivalry, were introduced into English land as chivalry. Second point, the role of King and Queen of England. Years later, after William's death, Henry II, the great-grandson of William the Conqueror, was crowned as the new king with his wife Eleanor of Aquitaine at Westminster Abbey on 14 December 1154 after his father Geoffrey the Plantagenets. During Henry's rule, the king developed the administrative and judicial institution in England. Since Henry is a king with no tongue of English and the lawyers at the time normally used French, all the state affairs, procedure, and documents were spoken, used, and documented in French and Latin only. One of historical evidences that proved the influence of the French language was Assize of Clarendon, 1166, the ordinance which was used in the procedure of criminal justice cases during Henry's rule. It was in this time words such as justice, judge, jury, attorney, court were introduced from French and later borrowed into English that we use today. Not only because of Henry, England was influenced by French language in administrative and judicial system. Henry's wife, the passionate Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine, also played an important role in influencing and patronizing French literature, poetry, and song to the land in the mid-12th century. It was she who had brought the art of literature and poetry from Aquitaine, her homeland, such as the poetry of the heart, courtly love song, and story of Arthur and his knight. Also, because of the Queen, words such as romance, knight were introduced and borrowed into English. Therefore, the development introduced by Henry and the literary role of Queen Eleanor subtly led to more influences of the Anglo-Norman French language and concurrently increased the declination toward the usage of English language in the 11th century among the royalties, middle class, and in the state affairs. Last but not least, in the same year of the coronation of the King Henry II and Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine, the manuscript of Peterborough Chronicle, also called as the Lord Manuscript of Anglo-Saxon, that recorded the story of England, has been discontinued, and the last entry written in Anglo-Saxon or Old English that was used to govern the England ended at the Peterborough Cathedral in 1154. Therefore, it marked the end of written Old English. So I hope from my sharing, everyone will understand how the French language and influences came into English land and sees the written Old English. Continue to the next presenter. That's all from me. Thank you.